Hi everybody, I'm Justice and you're watching Bro Bites, and today we're going to talk about the month of March and what comes with it, namely March Madness. What we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about the number one seeds as of right now and the possible bracket busters that go along with every season. What the month of March means is 85% of Americans who don't typically care about college basketball really get interested, start filling out brackets, and watch March Madness as if their life depended on it. I feel comfortable saying that because I can safely admit I am one of those people. So, lucky for you, I've done a little research and we're going to look into really how the number one seeds stack up and what the small schools this year are going to be. Because if there's one thing I know, it's everyone loves the underdog. People love to watch the brackets, not to see, the big schools continually win, but to see what small schools are truly going to bust through and be the team this year. So, I've dug deep, I've done my research, I've watched some film, and I can safely say I think I have a pretty good idea of how it's going to shape out. So, how do the number one seeds stack up in their individual brackets? As of right now, the number one seeds are Villanova, Kentucky, Duke, and Virginia. And again, this is as of recording this video, things do change. First and foremost, Kentucky looks like the front runner to win the entire tournament, and that's because Kentucky is a tremendous team. They're always winning, and they're undefeated as of right now. Their bracket doesn't look particularly strong, and Kentucky is good on offense and defense and has plenty of players to rotate in. So, barring any injuries, Kentucky looks like they're going to go deep in the tournament this year. As for the other teams, Virginia has one of the top defenses, and as of right now, is actually leading the ACC over another number one seed, Duke. They look good. They don't have the best offense, but as a good defensive team, one of the top five, they have a genuine shot to make it far because teams can't seem to score on them. Duke, as always, is a perennial player in the tournament. They're a great team all around, but they also are in the toughest bracket this year, so they're the team to watch to fall the earliest. And last but not least is Villanova. I think Villanova overall isn't the best number one seed, but they play hard and they play fast, and they have a pretty easy bracket. So, look out for Villanova to make a good push. Now, when it comes to small schools, there are always a few teams that seem to make the tournament and always do well. Most recently, VCU, or Virginia Commonwealth University, and Wichita State. Some might remember when VCU made the Final Four a few years ago. Wichita State, the last few years, seems to be the new VCU. Both of these teams have actually made the tournament. Both teams don't seem to have a good setup, but Wichita State is in the same bracket as Kentucky, possibly playing them as early as the Sweet 16, making it hard to call them bracket busters when they have to play the best team in college basketball. As for VCU, VCU is currently in the same bracket as Duke, and they look like a good team that can make a run, being right now the 8th seed, but being the 8th seed, that means they would play Duke round 2 if both teams win. And I think VCU is a good team, but I don't think VCU is a good enough team to beat Duke. So I know what you're wondering. If both of these teams aren't going to do it, who will? And actually, the two schools I have come from the same conferences as VCU and Wichita State. First and foremost, Dayton, who is currently ahead of VCU in their standings. Dayton looks like the team that can break some brackets this year, being in the South bracket with Duke and VCU as the number 7 seed. Aside from possibly playing number 2 Gonzaga, they have a pretty easy run up until facing who could be Duke, but not until the Elite 8 or the brackets finals. They're not the best team all around, but they play hard, they play fast, and again, they have a pretty easy setup. The final team I have a possibility of breaking brackets is the number 4 seed in the South bracket, which is Northern Iowa. They're in the same conference as Wichita State, and like Wichita State, are a number 4 seed. The only problem I have with them is the fact that, like Wichita State, they would play the number 1 seed in their bracket fairly early in the tournament, if Duke and they both win. Having said that, I think out of the possible bracket busters and the number 1 seeds, they have the best chance of beating Duke at Duke because of the fact that they're a good team and Duke should be looking past them into the Elite 8 round. That's not to take anything away from Duke. That's not to say Duke's a bad team. The fact of the matter is, there's always one team that upsets someone, and I think this year it could be Northern Iowa. When it's all said and done, no one can truly predict who's really going to win, and that's part of the beauty of March Madness. There's always teams that upset, there are always teams that do well, and it's always exciting to see who wins and who loses. But, having said that, I think I've given you enough insight to comfortably vote for certain teams in your brackets. And remember, always enjoy picking the underdog and watching those exciting games. I know I do. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, share it on Facebook, tell your friends, do whatever you gotta do. My name's Justice. As always, you're watching Bro Bites. Thanks.